For the first time in the history of Ebonyi State, the leaders, the stakeholders, who is who in Ebonyi State, we are coming together under one spirit. It has never happened. If this union has not achieved any other thing, it has achieved this moment of joy for Ebonyi people. You know, we have a lot of ex that are both in PDP, former PDP, because after this night, there will be no PDP in Ebonyi.
People say PDP made me what I am. That is absolute rubbish. We made PDP what PDP is. The party, you know, people that make the party, and I've contributed so much in making of PDP, not the other way around. I've been a peacemaker, I've been a negotiator, and even the governor of Edo State coming on board, it was my prophecy, which, you know, my fellow governor directed the working committee to come and prove me. In humility, I submitted, but that was a big minus for them because you don't probe a sitting governor. Another one is the PDP wants me to be castigating Mr. President. I have no any other boss other than Mr. President. And by my culture and the my upbringing in my family, you do not insult the elders. So it's not in my character. And some of them speak rubbish in the day, and in the night they are caps in hands and they start going up and down. I don't do like that. I live one single life. So Mr. President remains my boss, my father, my friend, and I have no regret about that. And he's been very fair to those who criticize him and those who don't, and that's why he's a father. So I'm happy doing what I'm doing.
And now we are in the second phase, about to start membership registration across the country. And Your Excellency, the National Caretaker Committee have dissolved the structures of the party and have conferred the leadership of the party on you. Today marks a new beginning in the political history of the United States. Your Excellency, I know you are a man of justice. You will do justice to all manner of our members across all levels of the state, from ward, local government, up to the state level. With this new remarks, Your Excellency, it is now a singular honor and privilege to symbolically present to you the flag of the party and the broom, and we are slip of membership registration. First, conferred on me by the constitution of our party, I'm going to announce the names of the caretaker committee of the Umahi State. The names are as follows: Stanley Okoro, Chairman; Nyesom Wike, Vice Chairman of; Peter Umahi, Vice Chairman of Central; Vice Chairman South; Charles Wike, Secretary; Engineer Umahi, Organizing Secretary; TV Okwat, Publicity Secretary; Barrister Ika Kelly, Legal Advisor; Chief Walanus Ali, Treasurer; Chief Joseph Ozibo, Financial Secretary;
that he goes to the presidency in the night. And I have no problem about that. I have no problems about that. But the issue is, how can, of what proof, all of us are aware that Governor Umahi has been romancing with the APC for long. We had a meeting with the governors of the PDP, in a virtual meeting. I've never seen that happen in my life. Even if I have a discussion, even if there are political arrangements I'm doing, Governor Umahi in that meeting, to the surprise of every governor, came out openly in the virtual meeting. Said, look, yes, there's nothing anybody can do, can stop me. You don't need to come and see me. Yes, I promised President Buhari I was going to give him 35%, 40%. I was shocked in my life. I didn't know that people never voted in Ebonyi. It was my first time I knew that votes were allocated, that Governor Umahi presided over allocation of votes, or who gets what percentage, or who does not get what percentage. But as per his movement to APC, all of us were aware. So it didn't take by surprise. But the only problem I have with Governor Umahi is that, look, the Constitution says you have a right to choose which association you want to belong to, who you want to relate with. But you cannot turn around a party since 1999 who made you party chairman. You never saw the injustice meted against the Southeast. Who gave you deputy governor? You never saw the injustice meted against the party. When he wanted to run for governor, his governor then, Governor Elechi, refused that he will not allow his deputy to take over because he knows his antecedent. People like Senator Pius Ayim and most people said, look, Governor Elechi, look, let us allow him. He has been chairman of the party. He has been deputy governor. There's nothing wrong now that he cannot be governor. That made the former governor of Ebonyi, Elechi, to leave the party. But by the grace of God, Umahi won.
Thank you for this press conference. I decided to make myself available because I'm sure you have a lot to ask me. And so I decided to appear. Number one is to clear the air that I never sought for PDP presidential ticket, and I will not. And so whoever that said that I moved to APC because they refused to zone the ticket to me is being very mischievous. Because number one is that even if PDP promises somebody, an individual, a presidential ticket, how does it work when over 8,000 delegates will be electing the person? And such promise cannot happen with more than 10 or 20 people. So people are being very mischievous about that. But there are a lot of prominent people from Southeast. I don't want to list them, but I think the House of Assembly members in their letter to PDP listed very much more qualified personalities from Southeast that can take the slot, presidential slot of PDP. Also, why am I moving to APC? Some people say I was promised this and that. There was no such discussion. APC never promised me any position. They never promised Southeast any position. There was no such discussion. However, I offered this movement as a protest to injustice being done to Southeast by PDP. That since 1998-99, the Southeast people have supported PDP in all elections. At a time, the 5 states were all PDP. And one of the founding members of PDP is from Southeast, the late Vice President, His Excellency Alex Ekwueme. And so it is absurd that since 1998, going to 2023, that Southeast will never be considered to run for presidency under the ticket of PDP. It's very absurd. And this is my position, and will continue to be my position. It has nothing to do with me. Let it be known that I'm God's project, and I don't go beyond the limit of my calling. I'm satisfied being a governor, and by His grace for 8 years. First and foremost, a businessman, and then took an adventure in politics. I refused to be called a politician, because if politics is all about lying and cheating and backstabbing, that is not my family character. And so I protest, and nothing will stop me from this protest. And I believe that this movement will cause PDP to understand that no man is an island, and that no one single person can be called a crowd. Together, we are stronger. And if people are shouting in this country of fairness, equity, and justice, and I stand in a place where such is not practiced, then I have to, re-examine my head. People can write all that they want to write. It's not my business. In 2023, if God permits, I'll be quitting politics. And I'll be very satisfied, because the miracles in Ebonyi State may just be the reason I was born in the first place. And I will be very bold, like Apostle Paul that says, I have fought a good fight. I have finished the race. It's wait unto children and their generation a crown of success, because I believe that a foundation would have been laid for the greatness of this state, Ebonyi. And so every man runs his destiny. One thing I promise is that I will never castigate PDP. Just like in PDP, my only sin is that I refuse to castigate Mr. President. Until thy kingdom come, I will not do that because that is my family character. But those who don't have character, they were very suspicious of me because I don't castigate the president. I could be leaking the information of PDP. What nonsense is that? I came from a very well, known family, a place where there is character. It's not just to jump. And if you want to deal with a man, you have to find out about the family background. People jump into politics and covering their family character. So I've got a character. Nobody, either in APC or PDP, will say that whoever discussed anything, I had to go and leak it. To leak it for what? Is it for money? Is it for fame? Is it for what? So that is the position. So let it be known to all that nobody promised me anything. Let it be known to all that I move because of injustice. And I have no regret about that. Some people say, you will regret this movement. I laugh at them as if they saw God and as if they are my God. I'm satisfied being a businessman. I'm satisfied doing my businesses. And that is all. So thank you very much. And God bless you.